All right, guys, I am here. Everything sounds good. I feel like I'm missing something. Scrambling a little bit this morning. What's going on, guys? Welcome, Kevin, Rolando. How you guys doing? Great to see you out here. And yeah, Kevin, I didn't even think about that. Ozempic. Yeah, obviously that's a hot topic of the day, and it's actually. Oh, I think my camera's been slipping a little bit. It's actually kind of funny. I never even thought about that because I was like, I need to put maybe a little bit more effort into designing a thumbnail, and then yeah, I never thought about having Ozempic. Anyways, yeah, good to see you guys. One quick second here. Oh my goodness, so much going on. So busy. All right. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. Doing well over here and feeling a little bit better. So I shouldn't end up in a fit of coughing rage at the end of this podcast here. Got to get my water though, of course. Sorry, not podcast, but live stream. And for today, as you know, we're kind of doing here this week, let's go over our business analytics, our business stats, and the stuff that we did over last week and what we're going to do this week. And what I really want to focus today after we get through kind of that house cleaning stuff is to kind of really, the audio sounds really low. Okay, hang on a second. Audio sounds low. I felt like, okay, maybe it's just. There we go. Is that better? I turned it up a little bit, but let me know. Let's see. All right, this should be better here. Okay, now I think we're cooking here. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Rolando. Appreciate that. Okay, perfect. Comments still coming in. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Oh yeah, so I think what I was saying is the thing that I wanted to focus on at the end of this, after we just kind of do this housekeeping stuff and looking over how the business went last week, is to talk about what I have planned for in terms of having my new product or the product that I'm going to be pushing with the new podcast studio that we're trying to build, and really trying to focus on getting that first couple clients through the door at this new kind of product. So I really want to talk about that, get your guys' feedback and opinions on it, and yeah, kind of go from there. So, okay, so let me see if I can get this thing going here. All right, so we got that. That's full screen. Share the screen. Okay, so let's talk about how things went last week in the whole business world. And of course, as a recap, as always, what are we trying to do? We want to get 1,000 downloads per episode for our podcast. So reach $3,000 in monthly revenue for Pixel. This is the one thing that I want to focus on talking about today, because that's one of the things that I spent a lot of time this weekend going over and really trying to figure out, obviously how to put money, get some money into the bank, and put food on the table, all that kind of stuff. Not that I'm struggling for food or anything like that, but it's really important to make sure that the business has good cash flow, right? And of course, monetize this YouTube channel and the other channel as well. Okay, so last week, so the schedule of the newsletter that went out this morning, as well as the new video this morning, and of course the live stream, all that kind of stuff got done. There was supposed to be a podcast. Someone was supposed to come in on Friday to come and do a podcast, but that got canceled that morning. Actually, there's something came up with the potential guest, so we're in the process now of rescheduling that. So that was unfortunate, but sometimes that happens. But I did have coffee ready, and a bunch of other drinks, so that was good. So all ready for that. And this whole idea of starting to plan an in-person workshop. So I'm putting together. I started working on that, and before I wanted to get working on an actual plan of what a workshop would look like, AKA having people come into like my house, and I say my house, my apartment, whatever, where I live, and talking about business opportunities and whatever, and just kind of teaching them how they could do things via podcasting or content. I wanted to put forth what my actual offer is going to be, so that because I want to use that as some type of sales and lead generation webinar as well, because I'm going to record the whole thing and then have that, front and center on my website. So I want to make sure that we're getting it right and that we actually have some kind of actual funnel kind of put in place. So we started on that, and I want to talk to you guys about that today. Get your feedback. And in terms, creating a show flow and questions for the 2 podcast guests that are coming over. I kind of started that, but I'm not going to really finish that until next week because they're not coming in until like April and May. Actually, April's like tomorrow anyway, so it's getting pretty close. But yeah, so we're going to finish that this week and reach out to new guests. I didn't have any time to do any of that stuff, which is kind of really bad. I need to make sure I'm reaching out to at least a few guests. So anyways, that was last week. So this week, of course, as always, I got to come up with a new video, a new newsletter, and that's just working kind of in the business, I guess you can say. Live stream, of course. I think I didn't mention this. Oh yeah, creating shorts for episode 5. I didn't get to do that at all last week. So episode 5 of the podcast, The Unconventional Mindset. So I need to get shorts. I need to do that, make the time to do that. Man, things just take up so much time. It'd be so nice when I could actually like hire somebody. I can't wait. Anyways, I'll be thinking about that, of possible ways that I could potentially do that. But the way the business is right now, I'd either need to borrow money to do that or figure out I could increase my revenue. Number 2 looks a little bit better for me than number 1, but we'll see what happens. All right, continue to plan the in-person workshop and finalize questions for the guests that are coming in. 2 of them coming in next week, and then some people coming in May as well too. He's shuffle for this one in May. And connect with the 2 podcast guests that are coming for next week, and I want to prepare for that. And there's one thing too. This is kind of stems from. I can move this over a little bit. Stems from the video that I released this morning, which was kind of a little bit of different. I wanted to see how things work, and we'll talk about this in a second because we'll look at the analytics. Try something a little bit different. And just talk about health and fitness, because we've talked about this on the live stream before. Not as much obviously as business. I think being healthy and maintaining a healthy lifestyle and being in shape and being healthy, whatever you want to call it, is super, super important. It's like just as important as how well you do in business, because I don't know, for me anyways, it's just super important, because I don't want to build a successful business and not be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor because I'm always sick or whatever the case may be, or I can't run around with kids and grandkids when I want to have all that kind of stuff. Right. So anyways, super, super important. And what I'm saying here is that I want to schedule someone to come in, on the podcast to kind of talk about that aspect of running a business, sitting down at a desk all day and then going ahead and, just making sure that you still maintain your health, I guess, is just super, super important. Sorry, I'm reading this kind of at the same time. Okay. Question. Are you still in the web design development and maintenance business? So on paper, 100% I still am, because that is how I'm getting 100% of my money in through the door right now, is through that. And is that ever going to go away? It's a good question. And I think it's going to end up being, we'll see, but I think it's going to end up being a part of my overall strategy of the products that I'm going to be able to offer my clients as they come and work for me. Because but what I'm focusing on right now is I'm trying to figure out, I want to focus on things that I really enjoy doing, things that I have a sense of purpose and something that actually makes me happy. And as I was saying many times before, just sitting down and thinking about doing videos on web design and development and just focusing on that, I was waking up in the morning, I was just feeling miserable. I just didn't want to do it. And if I feel like every day I have to do something, even though it is bringing in me money, I don't know, it's just not a path that I know I wanted to go down long term. So I figured out now's the time to try to pivot and switch, because I know it's not something I want to do long term. And that's just for me. If I can run a company that's doing that and hire other people to do it, that's a different thing, because then I'm managing clients and people and I'm not doing actual web design. So that's why it's a little bit of a kind of a gray area. But anyways, we'll talk about that in a minute in terms of my new offer and how I can see it tying into the stuff that I want to do. So anyways, so can I request a guest for the podcast? A real estate agent who can explain the buying process, the challenges and the opportunities in the current Nova Scotia market. I have been looking at a couple of real estate agents actually, and I have gotten in touch with a couple. I haven't heard back from them yet, or probably not at all. But there's more than 2 real estate agents around the area. And it's something that I think that's a really good niche to talk about how these people, of course, I mean, if you're interested in purchasing land and whatever, I mean, obviously that's pretty niche, I think, for you, because you're thinking about, I don't know if you're thinking about moving here or whatever, but yeah, anyways, yes. I'm doing my best to try to land someone that's in the real estate game. Because I think they have a lot of potential or a lot of insights, even to just how they market their business and how they promote their business and how they get clients, all that kind of stuff. And that's why I love talking, or I want to talk to people in different industries, because even though they're in completely different markets, the process of doing marketing and getting clients or whatever is very, very similar. And I think we could all learn from that. So absolutely, let's get that done. Okay. So analytics. We're just going to talk a little bit about analytics. I haven't spent time actually compiling them yet, because I don't think there's too much value in that yet, because the numbers are so low. But just to talk very briefly here, the newsletter, there hasn't been any change in subscribers, so nothing moving there on that needle. No subscriber change on all the channels. And in terms of YouTube in general, which I'm just kind of looking at the watch time. So last week we were at like 13.1, I think, if my math is right. And then now we're down more than half to 6.2. So we're getting a reduction in, quite a big reduction in watch time from last week. So that being said, let's move over into, let's go here. And I guess we could say there's kind of these 3 new videos that I started posting on a weekly basis. There's this how I plan to be better than 99% of podcasters in 2 years. And then I wish I knew these 6 things before I started my video podcast. And then this one this morning. So I want to take a look at these analytics one at a time. And just so we can kind of take a look at the difference in how these are performing. And maybe that can help us figure out kind of what videos are going to help us move the needle further in terms of growing this channel. And, trying to figure out how we can link that in eventually into getting more leads through the door, whether that's Podcast Studio or listeners to our podcast. Okay, so this one, I was really happy with this one. Performed really well. 309 views. It's still getting views now, but of course it's very slowly trickling in. But if you look at the reach, YouTube is still, not very much, but it's still showcasing it to people, and we're still getting clicks to that video. And I think that's because it has a decent enough click-through rate at 2.7%. So, and it's got 7.7 impressions. So now if we contrast this one or compare it to the second video that I released, which was this Learn Before You Start Podcasting, maybe I need to change the thumbnail, maybe the title. I don't know. I don't even know if that stuff can really work. Maybe it must, I guess, if people are clicking. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what. Yeah, I'm not sure if a video is not doing well, what you can do to try to get more people to view it. Maybe you can change the title and thumbnail and that helps. I don't know. Maybe I can play around with that and see what I can do, I guess. But anyways, if we look at this one only has a 0.5% click-through rate. So I think in YouTube terms, that's garbage. And YouTube is like, nobody likes this, so I'm not going to push it out to people. So it started pushing it out, and after 2 days, it basically fell flat. And it doesn't show it to anybody hardly anymore, right? So that's why the impressions are pretty much non-existent anymore, and we're not getting anything. And it's just this flat at 24 views. So, and then, and I don't know if that's because, I don't know if it's the content's bad. I mean, if you look, it's hard to say what the retention is. I mean, I don't know, 2 minutes out of 9. I don't know. It's hard to say whether this is the content itself is bad, because I think there's actually really good information, because I spent a lot of time putting it together, but if nobody's watching it, then nobody's watching it, right? So I'm not sure what to make about this, whether it's just thumbnail and title bad or if it's the content itself is bad. I don't know. What do you guys think? But then we compare this to the video that I just released this morning, and already this video is outperforming last week's video. It already has 38 views. I mean, I know these sounds like really small numbers, guys, but I'm excited, and in terms of number of subscribers too. So this one got me 3 subscribers. This one 1. This one, 2 subscribers already this morning. So we'll have to see. And already it's getting 3.3K impressions. But the click-through rate is really low here too. I'm just looking at this now. That's pretty low. It started off pretty high at 2.3. Now it's low. So I don't know. And is this going to make things slow down? Probably. But I feel like the engagement in this one is, I think it's higher. Like I think with this video, I already have 4 or 5 likes on this video, which is much nicer than the other one. The other one, I mean this one. I guess if we look at, I think I have it up here actually. Yeah, so there's 5 likes already on this video out of 32 views, and this one had 9 out of 309, and this one here only got 1 like. So, yeah. So I don't know. So yeah, I'm not sure what to make out of this just quite yet, and how to use this information to, you know, inform me of what to do next. But yeah. Rolando, I'd like to make an observation regarding the titles. The title suggests advice rather than a personal experience. I think you get more engagement if you framed it as how I achieved X instead. So that sounds really good. That sounds really good to me. Okay, so that being said, let's see what we can do with this title then. Maybe let's try to, can we try to tweak this one right now? So I wish I knew these 6 things before I started my video podcast. Okay, so how can we change that from what you're saying in terms of personal experience? I really like what you're saying that there as well too is, and I've heard lots of other YouTubers talking about this, is when you're making videos and you want to have like a more personal connection, it's good to talk about your actual personal experience, which then can lean into your credibility as well too. So I do like that. What can we do? Like, I wish I knew these 6 things. We're talking about lean time. Okay. So I could say something like how I launched my podcast, or things that I learned after I started my podcast. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I probably need to sit down and think about it just for a minute. Unless you have any other specific examples or ideas you can send my way, but I like it. But I think I just need some time to brainstorm and to kind of think about it. And the reason why is because I've been thinking about something else for now. 6 mistakes I made when launching my podcast and how you could avoid them. Ooh, that's good. I don't know if I say that in my thing, but it's things I knew. But all right, let's give that a try. Let's see what happened. I mean, they're not all mistakes, and I think in the video I talk about, here are the things that I learned. Anyways, whatever. I think it's close enough. 6 mistakes I made. They're not even really mistakes, but I hear what you're saying. Oh, wait, hang on a second. 6 mistakes I made when I launched. When launching my podcast. We'll just try this straight up and see how it goes. All right. Let's save that and see what happens. Let's see if anything happens. We'll come back here next week, and if it jumps up, then you're going to be my new thumbnail and video title writer. When you talk about mistakes, people have an automatic sense of voyeurism and curiosity. Yeah, and that's you hit the nail on the head there about curiosity. How can you engage people's curiosity and get them to want to click, right? So, so maybe the title, or I should say the thumbnail, should be something like "Avoid these mistakes when starting your podcast," or something like that, right? So that makes a whole lot of sense to me. So maybe we'll update the thumbnail as well too. So I like it. Thanks for that. I think that's really helpful. Change the image to one where you look like you're regretting something. Like just have like a desperation look on my face or something like that. I'll have to get a screenshot of that. Yeah, sounds good. No, I like it. I like it. Okay, I'll do that after we finish this live stream. Okay. Okay, so I want to talk about. Oh, I better not start typing in too many triple X's into the browser. I don't know what's gonna happen if I do that. Okay. Let's go here. Let's zoom this in. Okay. So Rolando, this ties into what you're asking about, whether I'm still going to be doing web design or not. So obviously right now my clients, let me move myself out of the way here. Obviously my clients right now, I do web design for them. And if people come to the door asking for web design stuff, more than happy to do that as well. So that's still in play, but I'm not actively promoting it or anything like that. That being said, what I've thought about for Pixel Media and the studio right here. So that's the one thing I want to focus on right now is I want to bring people into the studio and be able to film a podcast with them or help them start and grow their own podcast. And more than that, I want to actually have I don't know what to call it. Basically like a full service offering where you're not only coming for me to film and edit and do all the stuff for the podcast, but actually to help you grow your podcast. And you could almost think of it as a marketing thing. So this is what I was thinking about. And this is what I kind of put together as this kind of this internal document, I guess. And I guess we'll just kind of go through it. And I want to hear what you guys think about it. Oh, excuse me. I think 15 plus years of writing legal claims, appeal petitions, and attending hearings gives me a bit of experience in writing nonsense. And I think it's even more impressive too, because English is not your first language, right? So to be able to do that is like super impressive. And honestly, like I can't thank you enough for all the help. I really appreciate it. It's super, super helpful. Okay, so with all this in mind, let's just kind of get through this here. So I talk about here our mission. And what is it that we do? Just help business owners and professionals turn their expertise into an automated content engine that builds authority, attracts high-value clients, and grows their business without taking their time. So that is the whole mission and vision of what Pixel can do for our clients. And who would those people be? You would think of people like, even Rolando, like you're saying, they could be lawyers, real estate agents, professionals that have a ton of experience in their field, but need to go out and, kind of always get clients. Oh, excuse me, and my throat is itchy. All right, thinking about coaches, thinking about consultants, CEOs that are really, really busy, or that they're running a company, and all these people. What is it that they want to do? They want to have a steady stream of inbound leads. I mean, what business doesn't want to have that, right? They want to build credibility. They want to be able to stand out from the crowd. These people, they know that content is important, but they don't have the time, whether it's in-house or on their own themselves. They don't know how to do it, right? So that's going to be where Pixel comes in, and that's going to be the problem that we're going to solve. Our clients are busy. They don't have the time to create content. They don't have the time to go on LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever to just post and tweet things 10 times a day. They also don't know how to make content that converts. They don't know how to do things that engage with their audience. They don't know how it is that they're going to be able to build the authority that they want. They don't know how to get the visibility that they want. They just don't have that capacity, So basically they want to have leads, and they want to have good leads that come to the door, and they want to know how to consistently generate them online. So this obviously for me is something that I'm learning about as we go here. One of the reasons why I'm doing this live stream, right, is to showcase the learning that I'm doing in order to how to get leads and all that kind of stuff, and how to build a podcast, use that to cut it up into a bunch of different content pieces, put it out there, and use that to promote and grow the podcast, right? So that's kind of wrapped up into the solution. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be turning a podcast. So the clients will come in, we'll create a podcast with them, and we're going to turn that into a full scale content and lead generating system. So think about it like this. The client comes in once a month, they come to the studio, they record a few episodes or whatever the case may be, and that is all that they have to do. We get the guests that they're going to talk to, we do the show notes, we do the talking points, we do all the planning, the producing, the editing, we cut up all that content, we repurpose it into smaller clips, we repurpose it into written dialogue and blog posts and tweets and all that kind of stuff, LinkedIn posts, all of that stuff. We do that for them, and they come in once a month and they have content for a whole month that we schedule out and just put it out there. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. So, and the thing that we're going to do with them is train them in order to, look better on camera and look better in front of the microphone, all that kind of stuff. And really, as the more they do it, the better and better that they're going to do. And the more that we work with them, the better it's going to be for them. Right. So, I think, and what do I have here? How do we deliver? Right. And these are just kind of the steps here. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. We come in, we strategize the branding, we record, we do post-production, we do distribution, and then the lead growth and lead generation. And then it's just like a 5-step process, and it just reiterates every single month, right? We come, we film, we release, produce, distribute, analyze the data, see what worked, see what didn't work, and then repeat the process every month, right? That's the kind of the whole thing. And so then in terms of the outcomes, this is kind of where it's the selling feature to the client or to the prospective customer, by them always having this high quality content being published on social media and going out there, that could result in consistent high quality content being published, of course, and then it established them their authority that they're looking for. They get their credibility that they're looking for. And hopefully, of course, is those videos, those posts, all that kind of stuff ends up drawing leads to the service they have. They're the expert. They talk about it. We get the leads for them, right? And it's an asset that's just going to compound over time. Just like a podcast. If you can grow someone to someone's podcast, then again, it doesn't have to be like it has to have millions of views. Even if you just have hundreds of people, but they're the right people, that's all you need. That's going to make a huge, huge difference into your bottom line. So core principles, done for you, value over vanity, simplified execution, and a long-term impact, and of course, professional presentation. So those are the things, those are the key things that are going to drive the work that we do. And then the pricing model, oh my goodness, guys. Oh, I think I had some nuts before this, and it's like super dry and it's cutting into my throat. Ugh, brutal. I'm sorry, guys. I got to figure out this nonsense. So the pricing model, $10,000 upfront to work with the client, to get everything set up, get the podcast all ready to go, do the first month worth of content, and then $5,000 per month ongoing. And that's kind of like the whole thing. That's the whole marketing angle. Now, putting this back into, what's the word I'm looking for? Into like web design and development, that could be another angle of running a content management system. So a podcast is one, but of course, if they wanted to have a website or they wanted to have some type of home base where all their media and everything could kind of come from, if they wanted to do that, then that is something that we could do for them, but it's not going to be part of like my main package. Oh my goodness. So $10K in the first month and $5K per month after. Are service costs in Canada really that high? So, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm not going to stop coughing. So this is really going to be like a business to business. It's not, well, obviously it's business to business, but it's not really going to be for a business to consumer. Because yes, costs can be this high and generally are this high when you're talking to companies and organizations that have a lot of money, basically. Oh man. This is killing me. So is it just my third world country prejudice? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, honestly. Like, I have no idea what the prices would be like in Mexico for something like this. I really don't know. But I do know that there's companies that, I mean, they have millions of dollars in marketing budgets, you know, and if a company has $5 million in marketing as a budget, to coming to work for Pixel for $100,000 for a year, not even, that's a small percentage of your marketing budget. And you can get content to post out every day for like a whole year. Oh, sorry guys, this is not going to work out for me today. Oh man. they're calling me to eat. No choice but to obey. Yeah, I don't blame you. My cough here is getting really horrible. But yeah, no, I think these prices are. They're not going to be for your small time entrepreneur, of course. And what I want to do, following Alex Hormozi style and all that kind of stuff, is to really have a high ticket item for people that, number one, could afford it and understand the value. And of course, that's going to help me do real business and hire actual people to help me get off the ground. But of course, if somebody just wants to come into the studio and just record their episode, then $100, come in, no problem. I teach courses or whatever that can help them learn this stuff. Then that's going to be my angle from taking small clients, teaching them, and getting myself known out there into the community as somebody that can help them, you know, with podcasting and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's kind of the angle there, I guess you can say. Okay, so since I can't stop coughing, oh man, my apologies. I can't stop coughing. There's just like I think it's like a little piece of peanut or something that's just kind of tickling my throat here. But yeah, so really, I'm really happy about just thinking about the idea of what this could mean for the business and what this could mean for Pixel as having this turnkey all-in-one solution. And like, I've worked with organizations, granted it's mostly in academia, but the amount of money that they spend on different marketing campaigns, 6 figures, no problem, without even batting an eye. So yes, people do spend this type of money, 100%. So there's money to be had for sure. Okay, I want to talk more, but I can feel I'm just going to start coughing even more, which is horrible, horrible, horrible. So I will say, please let me know what you think about this. Let me know in the comment section down below, because I'm really wanting to move forward with this. And I guess one thing I can say is, let's go back here, and can we do this up? Yeah. So with this whole positioning and this whole kind of angle that I'm going to be going with here, the reason why I worked on this document and why I want to put this into play is because this is really going to help me figure out what I'm going to do. If we go back here for this right here, to continue to plan in-person workshops. So when I'm thinking of having a workshop and trying to either showcase my skills or services to clients, being able to have a workshop that's going to, maybe it's going to be something like, hey, do you as a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever, want to learn how to produce content en masse and be able to distribute it en masse? Then, excuse me, then I think it just makes a whole lot of sense. And that's going to be a good, you know, sales lead or sales magnet that can get my potential clients into the door to showcase for them what it is that I can do for them, or showcase to them what I can do for them. So I think it makes a lot of sense to me. I think it's a really good angle. And I know actually for a fact, not for a fact, but I'm going to try to actually pitch this. I should be able to pitch this to a potential client within the next 2 weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to put some type of pitch together, and I'll let you know how it goes. We'll probably talk about it next week when I figure out if I can schedule a time, like 30 minutes, to actually do this pitch. So, so that'll be interesting to see. And I'm not a very good salesman. In fact, I think I'm a really bad salesman, and I think I'm going to need to learn how to become a good salesman, because, you know, I can't just say, hey, I'm going to record a podcast for you. You have to talk about their pain points and understanding what it is that they're going through and understanding what it is that they're going to try to solve. And then it just happens to be using a podcast to be able to solve that problem, right? So I'm going to try to paint it in that lens and try to figure all that stuff out. And yeah, I guess we'll just go from there and see how it goes and see how business goes. But it's something that could scale, and I think this could easily-ish scale to something that could bring in $1 million in revenue every single year, especially once we get up to 10 clients or so, and we'll be golden, right? So, all right. My voice is not going to let me continue on any further, which kind of sucks. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining. If you do like this video, do please give it a like. I really do appreciate that. And in terms of the fitness goals as well, I'm going to keep working away on that. Started everything this morning, actually. So I did my 10K walk and bike riding and all that kind of stuff earlier today. So we're starting with that. So that's going to look good. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching. And as always, we'll see you back here next Monday for a brand new stream. Until then, take care. Have a great week. And we'll see you then.